Hey everyone. Now, I was initially pretty critical of the DJI Neo when it released, but after using it for a little over 2 months now to capture tracking shots, landscape clips, and flying it with the goggles and motion controller, has my opinion changed? And does this little drone live up to the hype? Well, today I want to give you my honest thoughts and tell you some of the pros and cons I have discovered. And we will also take a look at the new functions and features that have been added since its release, which in my opinion have massively improved the overall experience. Let's jump right in. Now, a mistake I made when initially reviewing this drone was I looked at it purely from an image quality and performance perspective without really factoring in the cost. But when you do factor in the cost, which starts at only £169 or $199, you realise that it's actually extremely good value for money. And at this price point, it lowers the barrier of entry for people to get into flying drones, which is a very good thing. And the reality is, over the past few months, I've been using this little drone more than I ever thought I would, and I have actually grown to really like it. Why? Because plain and simple, it's just fun. However, with that being said, it does have its limitations that you need to be aware of, and there are a few things I think could be improved. But let's start with a positive, and that is that this drone is really resilient to crashes. Due to the design where the gimbal actually sits nestled within the frame and is fully enclosed and protected from the sides, and due to the clip-on prop guards, which again fully enclosed in propellers and protect them from the side, bottom and top, you never really have to worry about crashing, no matter if you're using it to track you autonomously or you're flying it with a controller. Over the past few months, I've crashed this drone more times than I can remember, and I haven't even had to change a propeller yet. Apart from a few small scratches which add character to the drone, there's no noticeable damage to the drone itself. Next, let's take a look at arguably the biggest con or downside to the DJI Neo, and that is the image quality. Now again, I was initially very critical of this in my original review, but factoring in the cost of the drone, I do think it is acceptable. And actually, if the only place your footage ends up is social media websites or apps such as Instagram or YouTube, or you only ever view the clips back on your phone, it is fit for purpose. Now, something that didn't really make much sense to me originally, but has now been fixed with a firmware update, was the inability to record vertically. As this drone seemed to be marked squarely for social media use, it seemed odd that you could only export in a horizontal aspect ratio. Now, however, the ability to export in 9:16 has been added to the camera settings, and this will be perfect for getting them clips for vertical platforms like Instagram or TikTok without needing to do extra work in post. Just be aware though, this is simply a digital crop, so the resolution does get reduced to 1080p when using this vertical mode. Now, you have to remember that this camera only has a half-inch sensor with an aperture of f2.8, so to get the most from this drone, you really want to be using it in well-lit environments, ideally a bright sunny day. The brighter it is and the more light you can get into that sensor, the better the overall image will look. If it's really overcast or a dull day, which unfortunately is quite a lot in Northern Ireland, then the footage becomes considerably worse. And in low light situations such as sunrise or sunset, the footage gets a substantial amount of noise and grain and starts to become pretty unusable, unfortunately. If video quality is what you value most, over and above a lot of the unique features that the DJI Neo offers, and you can afford the extra outlay, then I would just go ahead and buy the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Now, in general, I do find the footage from the Neo to be slightly too sharp. Thankfully, this can be fixed if you're flying it with a controller, as you can lower the sharpness in the settings, and this makes a big difference to the image quality. Unfortunately, however, this is currently not possible if flying with only the drone or with the smartphone, but hopefully this is something DJI will add with a future firmware update. Now, if you would like to get the absolute best video quality from your DJI Neo, then I highly recommend checking out my recently released DJI Neo Best Settings Guide that walks you through all the key settings I recommend for every scenario, no matter if you're recording in bright sunlight, flying manually, or vlogging, this quick guide has you covered to help you get the most natural and best looking footage possible. And if you would like to find out more about these or pick them up, I will put a link in the description down below where you can do just that. Now the next pro or benefit of the DJI Neo is the fact it's easier and faster to use than pretty much any other drone on the market. The DJI Neo can fly fully autonomously. That means you don't need a controller to use this drone, and sometimes less really is more. And also, because the drone can fly itself, there really is no skill required to fly this drone. And this just makes it so easy to use, but more importantly, quick to use. If you're only looking at capturing 10-second clips here and there throughout the day, maybe you're traveling or adventuring, exploring somewhere new, then going through the elongated process of setting up some of the larger drones each time can become a pain. But with the Neo, it's so straightforward, you find yourself capturing more and more because why not? Now something else I love about this drone is that you can fly it in so many different ways, and the fact we get all these options for a $199 drone is incredible, and it allows you to explore different avenues of controlling a drone to see which one you like best, traditional drone flight or FPV flying. Now you can fly this first and foremost with your smartphone, but you can also use a controller such as the DJI RC-N2 or N3 or the DJI RC2. You can also use the goggles and motion controller 3 or FPV remote controller 3. Now one of the ways I've came to love flying the DJI Neo is with the smartphone only. You may remember I was initially critical of this method of flying, but over the past few months, it's the method I've used most to fly this drone. Why? Because it's just so convenient. You don't need to pack an additional controller, and because you always have your smartphone on you anyway, it doesn't take up any additional space. Also, with a recent firmware update, the experience has been improved. Before, the camera preview on the app was confined to only portrait view, making it very small and hard to see. But now you can press this button here and see the camera preview in landscape mode, making it much larger, and the experience is just so much better. Just be aware though, it's not perfect, it does have a few limitations. Firstly, the transmission between the smartphone and the Neo is Wi-Fi only, so the transmission is quite weak, meaning you can't fly the drone that far away. Secondly, if flying with the smartphone only, there is no return to home, and this is very important to understand. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say you fly the DJI Neo over water and you lose signal between the smartphone and the drone. Well now, because you can't physically get closer to the Neo because it's out over water, there's nothing you can do. There's no way you can regain that transmission, and because it won't return home, it's simply going to hover in place, and it will hover there until the battery gets low, and then it will lower down and land in the water, and that's a complete disaster. Now before moving on, if you're getting value from this video, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up and clicking that like button down below. And if you love all things drones, but also action cameras, gimbals and more, and want to learn about the best settings to get up and running quickly, along with tips and tricks to help you get more cinematic videos and better looking images with your gear, then please consider clicking that subscribe button down below, and when you're down there, be sure to check the notification bell so that you will be alerted when my new videos are released. It would be greatly appreciated. Now another way I've loved flying the Neo is with the goggles and motion controller. All you have to do is point the little circle on the screen towards where you want to go with the motion controller, which basically acts like a joystick, and then as you squeeze the trigger, the drone will fly forward. It's really intuitive and it's super immersive. Now, if you haven't picked this drone up yet, DJI has just released a new Motion Fly More combo that, in my opinion, is the combo to pick up. Alongside it having 3 batteries, which is super important as one battery is not really enough, and we'll talk more about the battery life later in this video, you also get a charging hub, but more importantly, you get the RC Motion Controller 3 and the all-new DJI Goggles N3. Now, if you already have the DJI Neo and want to give flying FPV a try affordably, these new Goggles N3 are DJI's cheapest ever goggles, coming in at $229, which is a big saving compared to something like the Goggles 3, which are around $500. Now, you might hear cheapest ever goggles and think, well, then they must be rubbish. but in fact, these are actually brilliant. So firstly, when comparing these to the Goggles 3, you will see that they are much larger goggles, and the reason for that is DJI has simplified the design. Unlike with the Goggles 3, which had two OLED screens that you would be looking at when you put them on, the Goggles N3 has a single 3.5 inch screen that sits inside of these goggles. And the great thing about this is that unlike with the Goggles 3, where you had to adjust the diopters and the distance between the lenses to get the screen in focus, with these new goggles, you simply put them on and you're good to go. Now, if you are a fellow glasses wearer like myself, I'm actually just wearing contacts at the minute, the nice thing about these goggles is that you can actually wear them with your glasses on. They are glasses friendly. This is something you couldn't do with the Goggles 3. These new goggles have a really nice large foam pad around the edge that is really comfortable and works great for blocking out any light leak. But because it's so soft and because there is quite a lot of room inside the goggles, you can tighten them down to get a nice tight fit, but still be comfortable wearing your glasses at the same time. Next up, the field of view is now wider at 54 degrees, so you can see the entire screen. Even if the goggles are off center a little bit, none of the screen gets obscured. The most surprising thing, however, about the new Goggles N3 is that DJI has included most of the features of the more expensive models. There is a built-in battery integrated in the head strap, giving around 2.7 hours of battery life, an AR cursor, defogging, head tracking mode, easy acro mode, and AuguSync 4 transmission, making it compatible with the Neo and Avata 2. Some features we don't get, however, is live view sharing and picture-in-picture. Video resolution is also the same between the Goggles N3 and Goggles 3, being 1080p at 60 FPS, although the N3 goggles bump up to 1080p at 100 FPS if using them with the Avata 2. These new goggles are also slightly heavier, coming in at approximately 536 grams compared to the Goggles 3's weight of 470 grams. Now, there is a new feature that has been added to the Neo when paired with the goggles, and this is the ability to turn on live view stabilization. With this turned on, instead of seeing the raw, unstabilized footage in the goggles, you can view the rock steady stabilized footage live in the goggles preview. This not only makes flying around seem so much smoother, but it also lets you see what the outputted video looks like as you're recording it, rather than having to play back the footage after flying around. If you would like to find out more about the new DJI Goggles N3 or the new Motion Fly More combo, I will put links where you can do just that in the description down below. Moving over now to take a look at another con or downside of this drone that I've experienced over the past 2 months of flying it, and that is its wind resistance. Now, this drone has a stated max wind resistance of 8 meters per second, which is a level 4 wind resistance. But when flying it in real life, it feels lower than this. And this can make it hard to fly around, especially if you're flying it into a headwind, but more importantly, causes the drone to move around a lot, leading to unstable and shaky footage. And if flying autonomously using the smart shots, it can sometimes struggle to keep you centered or make jerky movements. Now, to counter that with another positive, the subject tracking works really well. I particularly like that it seems to follow the path you're walking rather than taking shortcuts to catch up to you, and this can actually help it avoid certain obstacles even without obstacle avoidance. Also, a recent update has increased the speed at which the Neo can fly while tracking you, so now it can fly at up to around 30 to 35 kilometers per hour to keep up with you. Honestly, in all my time using this drone, it has very rarely lost track of me. The only times you can catch it out is if you make a really abrupt direction change, or if you turn around and run under it quickly while the drone is following you. But even if that happens, once you walk back in front of it, again it will pick you back up and start tracking again. Now, something I just touched on briefly, and a con that's very important to be aware of, is the fact that this drone has no obstacle avoidance. So if it's heading towards an obstacle, it will not stop itself, and this means you need to be very careful when using this drone. Yes, it's resilient if it crashes, but ideally you want to avoid those scenarios, and you also don't want to do damage to other people's property or even have it fly into another person, so you really do need to be very careful. And this means if you're using it to track yourself, you always have to keep an eye on it to make sure it's not getting close to any obstacles. I also recommend that you don't use it to track yourself in narrow or complex environments. Try to use it in nice, wide open areas free from any obstacles for the safest flights. Now, over the past 2 months, this little camera has rarely left my camera bag, and that's because it's super portable. It's extremely small and light at only 135 grams, and because you don't need a controller and can use your phone, it takes up little to no space, meaning you don't need a separate shoulder bag or case for it. You can fit it just about anywhere in your camera bag. It's so small, in fact, you can literally fit it in your pocket. And so I have just left it in my camera bag because you never know when a moment might arise and you want to capture a drone shot, so it's super handy to always have it in there, meaning I can pull it out and capture spontaneous shots. This also makes it fantastic for traveling. If you're looking at drone to capture clips of yourself adventuring, on holidays or travel vlogging, but don't want a drone that will take up too much space or bulk in your storage, then it's hard to look past the DJI Neo. Also, due to its weight, it's extremely regulation friendly, being a C0 class drone. Now, the last con I've discovered of this drone is its battery life. It is a little on the low side. On average, over the past 2 months of flying this drone, if you're using smart shots to palm launch it and capture a droney, circle or rocket shot, for example, a single battery is generally getting me around 15 to 20 shots. If, however, I'm flying manually on the other hand with the drone continuously in the air, depending on conditions such as wind speed, I'm getting around 10 to 15 minutes per battery. Now, if you fly something like a Mini 4 Pro or Air 3S, for example, you will find that flight time to be noticeably less. However, if this is your first drone and you are a complete beginner with no experience of the larger models, you will probably find the flight time to be okay. And as long as you pick up a few additional batteries, such as the 3 that comes in the Fly More combo, you will still get plenty of flight time to capture all the shots you need. Now, I'm not saying this drone is a replacement for something like a Mini 4 Pro or Avata 2. Instead, it serves as a fantastic entry point for someone looking to get into the drone hobby or to get a flying camera to capture aerial footage with. It's very affordable, extremely easy to use, portable, resilient, flexible in terms of how you want to fly it, but most importantly, it's just a lot of fun, especially when paired with the goggles and motion controller. This really is the ultimate drone to take with you on all your adventures to make it easier and faster to capture aerial videos. Even if you are someone like myself who has a few of the larger DJI drones, this little Neo still complements them perfectly, primarily due to the reduction in setup time, and I know for myself personally, this has resulted in me getting more spontaneous shots than I normally would have. Also, if you are a content creator, this little drone can help you easily capture new and interesting angles without requiring a second person to operate the drone, as it can fly fully autonomously. And hopefully this quick rundown of the pros and cons I've experienced using it over the past few months will help you decide if it's the drone for you. Now, if you liked this video and learned something new, please let me know by giving me the thumbs up and clicking that like button down below. And if you love all things drones, but also action cameras, gimbals and more, and want to learn how to get better images and more cinematic videos with your gear, then please consider clicking that subscribe button down below, and when you're down there, be sure to check the notification bell so that you will be alerted when my new videos are released. It would be greatly appreciated. Now, if you want to learn even more about the DJI Neo, then I recommend you watch my complete beginner's guide that goes over what everything is and does, along with everything you need to know to get the most from this little drone. And you can do that by simply clicking up here or by clicking the link in the description down below.